I started by reading this 2003 review from researchers at the Ontario Cancer Institute so that you don't have to. And I really saved you some time on this one. This research review covers glycogen synthase kinase 3, or GSK-3 for short. This enzyme shows up in a lot of different systems in the body, including cell growth, metabolism, and other signaling pathways. This research review is very technical and spends most of its time explaining how GSK-3 interacts with many different signaling pathways throughout a cell. It does not focus on type 1 diabetes specifically, so I thought about skipping this review altogether. But I decided to keep it in this week's video because GSK-3 turns up in later studies related to the immune system and beta cells. So what I've done is put together a simple timeline of GSK-3's major findings that could connect to type 1 diabetes in the long run. In the 1980s, scientists identified GSK-3 as an enzyme that inactivates glycogen synthase, which is the enzyme responsible for storing glucose as glycogen. In the 1990s, scientists learned that GSK-3 does much more than regulate glucose storage. It also helps to control how cells grow, divide, and even self-destruct, responding to signals from insulin, hormones, and other growth factors. In the 2000s, scientists discovered that GSK-3 also helps control the immune system, and that blocking it can reduce inflammation and autoimmune and inflammatory diseases. In the 2010s, researchers showed in diabetic mice that blocking GSK-3 together with another enzyme could stimulate human beta cell growth and improve blood sugar control. Clearly, you can see from this timeline that knowledge of GSK-3 has gone from a glucose storage enzyme to a key regulator across the body. And it might one day help us understand or even treat type 1 diabetes. The technical language of this paper and many of its topics made it hard for me to follow, but I do find the level of work and detail to be commendable. With 158 sources, the researchers clearly did a thorough review, but it's not really what I'm looking for when it comes to these videos and type 1 diabetes research. For that, I'm giving it a 0.9 out of 10 on my completely made up type 1 diabetes research score. This score puts this paper in last place among all the studies that I've reviewed so far. There's a link to the full article in the description. I personally do not recommend reading this one if you're interested in just type 1 diabetes research. Special thanks to the researchers for keeping this review publicly available. If you are interested in type 1 diabetes research, subscribe for more.